John Bradshaw from It Is Written is with us here today to share a devotional thought.
Well, hey there. Hope the day is going great for you already. Thanks for having me join you. It's really good to be here. Trust that whatever the day has in store for you will be blessed, that God will bring you just enough trials to keep you turned in His direction, and enough blessings that your heart will be glad and you'll be cognizant of all that God is doing for you. Had the good fortune recently of visiting a friend, a new friend, a friend of a friend. We went to their home. They breed llamas, of all things. No, hold tight, alpacas. Fascinating. We just happened to be there to witness the birth of an alpaca, and I'd, of course, never seen that before. Don't know too many people who have. But my friend, or my friend's friend, is a metal worker. Now, this guy is creative. I mean, he can do things with metal that guys like me, we just shrug, wouldn't even know where to begin. He makes things with metal. I mean, everything from nails to tools to larger scale industrial stuff. He's really a bright guy, extraordinarily creative, very, very, very capable. And I noticed, and we talked for a while about his anvils. Now, an anvil, you're probably aware of what an anvil is a large, heavy steel instrument or implement. On the top there is a flat surface known as the face. There's often, you call it a horn on the anvil, a rounded, pointed thing, so that it just gives the steel worker options, because on an anvil you work with steel. They'll take something out of a forge and start working it or beating it and bending it and shaping it and making it into what it's meant to be. An anvil is a really, really strong thing. Now, as I said, he had a collection of anvils. I don't remember exactly how many, a few. Some were pristine. Others you could see they'd been worked and worked and worked and were decades old. The surfaces were a little pitted or a little worn. I tell you what, though, the anvils themselves, lots of life left in them. Strong. You can't wear out an anvil real easily. And during the time of the Reformation, there was somebody who said, and I confess I do not know the individual's name, but somebody was credited as saying that the Bible is an anvil that has worn out many hammers. You know, as I looked at that anvil and we saw the gentleman whacking away with his hammer on something at the anvil, you realize that hammer is going to wear out long before the anvil will. Interesting that somebody chose to use an anvil as an illustration of what the Bible is or can be, or how the Bible functions. Of course, going back in time, anvils were common. Lots and lots and lots of people worked with metal. Now it's not done so much in the home or in the home workshop, but metal work is done in much more large-scale places. And the man with his anvil and his hammers and his tools, not nearly as common as it used to be. Once upon a time, everybody got it. In fact, John Bunyan, who wrote The Pilgrim's Progress, was a metal worker. And it is said that he used to carry his anvil around with him. It was a smaller anvil, and he carried that around with him so he could do repairs and so forth wherever he went. It's said that in the Pilgrim's Progress, that heavy burden that Pilgrim carried on his back, the idea came to Bunyan from having carried his anvil everywhere he went, and that was really quite a burden. Whether that's 100% true or not is hard to say. We filmed an It Is Written program at the John Bunyan Museum and some various John Bunyan locations around the city of Bedford, England. No one can say with certainty whether that burden came from Bunyan having carried his anvil, but it's a good theory, seems likely, and there are those who are pretty certain that that's where it came from. So an anvil, big old heavy thing. But the Bible is an anvil that has worn out many hammers. You know, don't you, that the Bible is under attack. And I don't say that in a woe is me sort of a way. I don't say that in a fearful way. I don't believe Christianity will ever be truly jeopardized. That is, people have been writing the obituary for Christianity for 2,000 years. And yet the church is still alive, in many places still strong. The gospel is still living. But attacks are made on the Word of God. And what are some of them? Lots of people believe that the Bible is anti-science. Now, if you believe the Bible is anti-science, maybe you're interested in what I'm about to say. Or maybe you say, what does he know? The Bible is anti-science. You know, the Bible cannot be anti-science. It's not possible. I shall tell you why. Science was originated by the greatest scientist of them all. And I don't mean Faraday, and I don't mean Tesla, and I don't mean Madame Curie, and I don't mean Salk, and I don't mean name your scientist. The greatest scientist of them all is God. God originated science. He is a scientist. He designed the cosmos. He designed the human cell. He designed all the biological processes that make up a person or an animal or the natural world. God's a scientist. And the Bible is the Word of God. So God is not going to inspire something that contradicts what He did in creation and the way in which He sustains the world. Oh no, the Bible is not anti-science. Now, it's true there are some scientists who are anti-Bible, but let's not forget there are loads of scientists who are pro-science and pro-God. I was talking with somebody just yesterday about the hazards of radiocarbon dating. Carbon dating, you know, they'll send something off to the carbon daters and have it aged or dated. They'll come back and say, well, this is 200 years old, or 200,000 years old, or 2 million years old. I said to my friend, a scientist, I said, you rely on carbon dating? He said, oh, yes, there are times when carbon dating is very reliable. It's really good. But there are other times that it's not. And that's because carbon dating makes certain assumptions. It acts or it works according to certain scientific measurements, but it assumes that those measurements have always been the same all the way back through time. And it's most likely they have not. So I'm not saying carbon dating isn't a good thing. What I'm saying is there are probably gaps in our understanding about carbon dating. And you'd have to be open to that fact because the universe, the cosmos, the earth, its atmosphere have changed dramatically over time. And who knows if somebody says, well, things have been constant since forever ago up until today, if there might not just be a little error in that reckoning. No, the Bible has come under attack from skeptics who say there is no God, but I've seen the natural world and I've asked the question, how did it get here? And the skeptic may say, well, there was a big bang. And I would say, I agree, God spoke and bang, everything came into existence. But the skeptic will say, oh no, God didn't speak and there was a bang. There was just a bang. What banged? Well, whatever was there. What was there? Maybe some specks of dust. And what you're telling me, Mr. PhD or Madam PhD, is that nothing erupted. And out of nothing came everything. Yeah, good luck with that. No, see, that's not science. And it is, as the Bible might say, science falsely so-called. You've got to have a lot of faith. More faith to believe that something came out of nothing, than to believe that something came about because God spoke and it was done. Now, the Bible is an anvil that's worn out many hammers. The Word of God says, forever, O Lord, your word is settled in heaven. Psalm 119 and verse 89. You can rely on the Bible. It will guide your life. It will encourage you. It will reveal God to you. And it will tell you that wonderful age-old story of the sacrifice Jesus made for you so you might have eternity. God bless you. Have a great day.